Hello, welcome to this video where I've written a small project using Docx-rs. Docx-rs. So it's a doc file writer with Rust, and it's using Docx-rs 0.4. You go to the crates.io, there's an example here, so that's kind of your hello world example. There is some compatibility with WASM and Node.js as well, which I can't comment on. But what I can show you is what I've built today. So on the right, I'll just give you an overview. I've got main, which calls a function in controller, which I've written using the doc-rs crate. cat.x.py, that is me attempting to automate the command line calling of the program. Moo.txt is a text file that I supply, so it's just plain text. Then that text will end up inside of my output file, which will be inside my files. Out.docx, that's a temporary file which gets overwritten each time. You can ignore that. The banner is a banner for your Word document, and cat.jpg is just a placeholder image. So I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so one of the key things that I wanted to learn, as well as kind of automating the creation of Word documents, I've done it in the past with Python, and it's been good, but there's certain things that always sort of niggled me, and I just wanted to try and do it in Rust basically. So let's have a look at it. So if I run the code, you see what I did here. I just run -h, which prints out my clap arguments or my clap options with the default arguments. So, right, let's run it and we'll talk a bit more about it afterwards, and I'll show you the code and we'll do some more demos. So if I can find it's quite a long, the thing is, that's why I've done the Python file, because I thought that once I've set up clap to take the options, I could then automate it with Python, which is kind of what I've done. So cargo run, that's because I'm running it via Cargo. Obviously, once you've built it and got your release version, then you can just run it from Linux or Mac with / and then the binary name. So -t is the text. So that's there, look. And that's just looking for a text file, which is what I've got here. -l is the headline, L for line. I couldn't use H because it's already used for help. So -l is the headline, and this is my headline caller. In fact, I think I've already got a document that's already. So we'll change that to demo, and then it's -n. I've set for the name of the output file. So let's call it YTLR YouTube Learning Rust docx, and then I'm just doing $ampersand Nemo, and it's just opening up my file manager in Linux Mint, and you can see it's run. Let me and it's open Nemo for me. I'll get rid of the split pane in Tmux in a second. So inside here, I had the text file. These were my two source or code files for Rust. That's a Python file, I'll show you in a second. So inside my files, this is the output file. And we're about to see. There we go. So let me just zoom in on that and we'll see what it's created. And I'll show you basically the bits that come from the placeholders. There we go. So I've got a logo there, which is what was called banner. This is my headline, demo cargo. Yeah, so I actually ended up putting the part of the Ignore that last bit down there. That's something else. That's a problem. This is my headline, demo cargo run. Yeah, see, I had that inside the single quotes for my headline. Okay, let's just run it again one more time, and I'll make it a bit more sensible. So let's call it my essay on economics. Economics. The file name YouTube. Okay. And success. Your file is in the directory. Let's go back in there. Okay, so YTLR2. Just want to discard the original. Here we go. My essay on economics. So let's run through all the different components. So you've got a header here. I've got a footer as well, which if you use my code, you just clone my repo. You could just use whatever banner you want, and if you keep it within a sensible size and it fits inside the dimensions of the header here, your image will appear there. That's not passed as a command line parameter at the moment. Could be, obviously. My essay on economics, you saw where that came from. That's what I passed in as -L for the headline. Here's just paragraph. Here is a table, and I'll show you the code for this in a second. So I've basically looked at all the examples, and I've just unpicked sort of, I don't know, 8 or 10 of the examples. And so that's a table. That's where I specify the font, so that's Arial. This is an anchor, so if I hold down Shift, click on that, see what it's done? It's just taken me, it's just done like a standard anchor in a Word document. I'm not actually that familiar with doing Word documents anymore, thankfully, but I still remember what an anchor is. That's bold, and I've changed the font size, and I've changed the font style. The image, you can specify the size and the number of bytes as well. So yeah, you can do that inline, you can do it aligned, center, and you can justify it and so on. Chapter 1, I think I've just got that. That's just large. I've just changed the font size there. Right, so all of this is a variable which gets passed in, obviously, as the, what did I call it again? -t. So inside the mu.txt file, sorry, I'm getting a muddle here. Inside the mu.txt file, you'll see basically the plain text version. So if you wanted to copy this and do a similar project for your own business or your own needs, then you would just pass in, and obviously you don't have to call it mu, you just change, that's like a string literal in Rust. So whatever you want to call that will get placed into the, it will get passed in as an option by a clap. It's good. So let's, if I can remember how to do this, yeah, and then close, and then let's look at the main code. So I always look at cargo first. You've probably heard me say that before. I just think cargo is, without cargo, you're dark a bit, aren't you? Cargo.toml. So I've used Docx-rs 0.4.17 as of May 2024. If you're watching this in the future, then it might be worth just checking for a newer version. Clap, so version 4.5.4, features derive, wrap help, Unicode. On a recent project, I'd used an older version of Clap because for some reason, I got confused with the newer version. But after watching Tim Clicks use Clap on his port scanning project, yeah, nothing. I don't know what I was getting in I don't know what I was getting worried about. So here we've got, I don't know where the hello2 came from. That might have just been there from testing. So if we go in the source, and then let's look at, if I show you controller first, so controller is basically got all of the code that does the stuff with Docx-rs. So use Docx-rs star. It's not always best practice to use star here because you're importing everything. So if you had a really large library, you would be just, yeah, it would be taking longer than it should. Use standard FS because we're working with file system. Standard IO is input output because we are reading. And standard path because it's obviously better to treat a path as an actual path object rather than a string. Use Docx-rs, and we're using docx, we're using header, we're using paragraph, pick, and run. I don't know a huge amount about these yet, but I know that you have to create paragraphs. So you've got one header and got a docx object that kind of holds it all together. So this is my function. So it's called hello because that's what the example was called, and it works. And I've not got around to renaming it. Paratext. So that's my paragraph text. So that's actually getting passed in from main. Main is collecting that from what gets passed in as -t. So that's the text. The headline. So that's the -l with clap. So I'm collecting paragraph text. I'm collecting a headline. And I'm optionally collecting the file name, which at the moment I have to pass in the file name because it works when I do that. But when I don't pass in the file name, then I get a directory not found error, which I still need to sort out. Here I was just setting a default for the hello2.docx if a file name is not passed in as the -n parameter via clap option. So this still needs some fine tuning. I'm creating the path. And what I'm doing is I'm saying if the directory isn't created, so /my files, I'm using format, so it's then passing in my files with that placeholder, and then it's taking UFN, which is user file name, which comes from here, which is an option which gets passed in. Okay, so create or open the file. So we create the file, which is going to be the end result docx file that will contain the banner pick, which is here. So we're in buffer include bytes. So that's a macro, Rust macro. Images banner JPEG, and that's kind of the learning Rust banner with the tiny little banner with the orange crab on it. Styles. So styles are quite important, and that's how you modify the font size, the fonts, the alignment. So this is the heading 1 style, which is Arial, and then I applied that to the hello world, if you remember. Then the table that you saw, so it's a vec, so it's got 2 table cells inside it. I think there should be, I'm guessing there'll be table row as well. I don't know. I need to experiment with table more, but header, so let header equals header new. And then we do the add paragraph, and you'll see add paragraph and add run new, add image. So it's very functional. You just keep adding and appending more and more method calls to your original instance of a struct. So we create a new vector. I forget what that was for. That was some of the code I copied and pasted that was basically making like a temporary file. So yeah, I might be able to remove that, not sure. The footer, so the footer is fairly self-explanatory. It's just some text. And again, paragraph new, add run new. These are all from the examples, so feel free to have a look at those examples and improve on this because there's probably some things which I could, certainly things that I can improve on. So the image, this is the cat image, just unwrap. Been sort of naughty and I've used unwrap a few places here. So it's reading the bytes from the cat JPEG and then it's actually image reads. So it's building the image and then the image gets used down here at the end somewhere. Pick, add image, pick. So this is quite a lot to kind of scroll through, and it's probably not worth me kind of labouring the point, but you've got hyperlink. So many of I know using Docx create or Docx-tpl in Python, there's certain things which are quite difficult. For instance, adding a hyperlink in Python is quite tricky from memory. Yeah, I don't know about that Docx. I might get rid of that and see if it still works. Of course. But so that's the controller, and if we just go and look at main, so I've done most of the imports in controller, and then I've just done mod controller and used controller hello. So hello is just the one function that I run, which does all of the Docx-rs stuff. So again, just file parser. So we're using clap parser, std.env because we're using the arguments, file and file read. So here, because we're reading the file, we're reading the text file here so that we can pass it in as, or we get the name that's passed in, and then we use that name to then go and get we read whatever's in the arguments text. Then we pass it back into the function as the content, and then the args headline, and then the file name, which is optionally some args output file. So I've done a little bit of match here, but it's far from perfect. So let's just do one more. I'll do one more demo, and then I'll just show you the. I'll show you the. I'll show you the repo and help yourself to it. To be honest, you're probably better off rather than. If you've got no Rust knowledge, then by all means copy my code because it works. But if you want to prove, or if you just want to do your own bits and pieces, then where is it? It's if you follow this link. So for crates.io, follow to here, and then if you come down here, you will find, where was it? I think it was in examples. I tell you the best way. So if you do clone my repo, let's run this again. YT, let's just call it YT3, and third attempt. So that'll be the headline. The file name will be YT3, and then it's going to open up. Why did it? It's very strange. So success, it's worked, and then we go in here and then we find the file it's just made, and we'll open it. And yeah, I'll show you the link. So if you scroll down, the hyperlink, so click on that, and then it takes me to here, which is, so it's Docx core you want, Docx-rs, Docx core, and then examples. Actually, before we go there, I'll show you the Cargo.toml. So that's got, yes, it's got some WASM stuff if anyone's interested in using the WASM bits and pieces. CRD, base 64, zip, this error, XML. So if you don't know, then basically Word documents are, they've evolved from XML. And let's go to the examples. I'll show you the examples that I kind of use to, so I think, I haven't looked at that one. I think that is just literally the hello world kind of thing. Yeah, that's the minimum thing you can do. So you've got add paragraph, then you've got build, and then you've got pack file, and the question mark obviously returns a docx error. And that's your output path where it's going to put the file. So I'll show you the examples that I kind of looked at. So I looked at font size, footer, header, image inline, hyperlink, and table. So I've used about 7 or 8 of these. Obviously, there's even more stuff here that you can use and work with. There's a table of contents, bookmark, probably quite good. Indent, numbering, nested comments, page size, page margin. So I think there's probably more here you can do than there is actually than you can do with some of the Python versions of kind of the docx creators. Oh yeah, I'll just quickly show you just to show you the Python file that I cobbled together. Did attempt CL. Oh, yeah, I had CL there. Okay, so let's look at the Python file, and then we'll be done. So env cat docs. I've called it cat docs because really what it's doing is it's effectively sending, it's concatenating it's like you're doing a cat from the mood.txt file to your output file. So cat, that's why it's called cat. And I like cats anyway. So import subprocess in Python. We're in Python now. So even surely hardcore Rust people just still occasionally use Python, surely. Am I right? Result equals subprocess.run, and that's going to take the arguments, and it's going to capture the output equal true, text equals true, and then we just print the standard out and standard error if we get some. And if result.return code equals 0, then we print success, which is what we typically see. So if I just edit this, so effectively you could go crazy here and you could really load up on and create many files. And what should we call this file? We'll call it XYZ. And then if I run, I'm still using Python 3.10. And effectively, it's doing what I was manually doing with clap. So you can do it with clap, or you can just script it via Python. So Nemo's like the file manager on Linux Mint. Don't lose any sleep over that. If you're on Windows, I think most of this should still work. You may have to just change the file paths from // or double / or whatever it is in Windows. So there we go. This is very nice, ? Which is what we put in the Python script. So basically you can use clap or you can automate it with Python. And if you want to customize this, you can either edit the code with the string literals, or you could just take these file names and just make your own and give them the same file name and just overwrite my banner and my cat JPEGs. Let me just, I'll do one last demo where we'll just quickly change mood.txt. That's quite small, but you get the idea. I've just edited mood.txt. Run that again. I haven't changed the file name, so if we go and look at xy.docx, we should still see most of the same stuff except for the text paragraph should just be 2 lines now. Yeah. So there we go. And let me know if you like the little cat. And this has been an intro to the cat Docx project using Docx-rs. And if you want to look at the examples, they are here. BOKU web Docx-rs. Yeah, so you're welcome to use my code if you want, but you may also just benefit from building what you actually need from these examples. If you want my code, let me know. Drop me a comment. I can share it. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and good luck if you try this, because I think it's pretty cool, and it will give you certain things which you don't get in the main Python docx-tpl and Python-docx, I think it's called. So, yeah, Rust saves the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Thumbs up, subscribe, all the usual stuff, because otherwise the algorithms, and then I'll spend 3 hours making a video and write some code, and then I get about 20, 30, 50 people watch it, and then it never gets seen again. So yeah, if you could just thumbs up or leave a comment if you want, even if you just think it's nice project, just write 2 words, because I think the algorithms like that. They like the comments. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.